What would you say, in your opinion, was like the number one reason why? Because if you asked me in 2020, I would assume that, like, you know, the Trump shit was over with. You know what I mean? Like,
nah, I knew it was gonna happen.
But I'm just,
Farrakhan said a long time ago, he gonna be the last president.
I'm just curious, like, you know, because, you know, I feel like there's obviously there was a lot of shit that, you know, I feel like the Democratic Party we talked about earlier, it's not really the party that, you know, that at least I remember. You know, I remember it used to be like, yo, George Bush and Dick Cheney are bad, but now Liz Cheney's on the campaign.
Yeah.
And now they're rolling out Bill Clinton to yell at Muslims in Michigan and tell them how they're like, it's like, how, of course y'all are gonna lose, you know?
Yeah,
but
they was wild. Obama and Clinton, I think they did more damage to the campaign than anybody.
it was bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad, dude.
And then, look, the nigga Biden was wearing goddamn MAGA hats.
Put the MAGA hat on, his wife wore the red dress. I think all that shit was on purpose.
I do too. I think I believe all of this is coordinated by the elites. Because here's the thing: if you take history and you erase the word Republican and Democrat and you put government, you get a clear picture of the world. Our problem is that they get to shift the branding to one side or the other each time. Doesn't mean that they're not clear differences in value, but then there's one entity and then there's the people. And then when the people can see, wait a minute, ever since they had the Bacon Rebellion early, hundreds of years ago, there was white people, poor people, and there was black slaves that was going to revolt against the government together. Then the government was like, man, we can't have these niggas working together. So how do we set whites apart? So they started spreading the knowledge, of course, that blacks are inferior, which is why they should stay slaves, right? And then we're going to give y'all more economic opportunity. We're going to create this middle class, so y'all come rock with us.
Right.
And then the whites was like, it was nice knowing you niggas, but hey, y'all supposed to be slaves, supposed to be broke. We not to, we white men. So then, of course, you get this white class, and then this is where they play this game of how do we keep the people divided so we can continue to rule both of them.
As opposed to like it being a classist thing, it's like,
right.
It's like, how can we make people forget that both of y'all are poor? The only thing that you guys might disagree on is whether a trans person should play sports, or, you know, it's like,
right. And
we're gonna throw this
same conservative values.
We're gonna throw this ball over here that's like this crazy, like, just, you know, only affects a 0.5% of the population, but everyone's gonna fight over it. And then while we're over here, we're taking away the ability for you to purchase a home.
It's genius
for both of y'all.
If
whether you're black or white, if y'all both are poor, you're both fucked, because now you guys can't even buy a fucking house.
Well, let's talk about that. Most people, again, you go to that asset prices rising, houses continue to go up. People can't afford the American dream.
So the American dream's cooked.
So what are they doing? The rich and the large corporations buying up all the houses.
Yes.
Right?
Fuck Larry Fink.
And the prices continue to go up, but your wages are not going up. Right? So then they focus on wage suppression. How we not pay you more? We borrowed money, right? And we want to pay off our debts from these assets that we bought. The assets continue to go up. We getting richer, right? And we making money, but we don't want to make less money by paying our people more. So let's do automation. Let's bring in AI to handle this, right? And then what happens? The productivity decreases, number one, when people can't focus. So when we talk about an attention economy, when you got too much information, it steals your focus, and then it decreases your ability to be productive. So productivity in America has been decreasing over the years. So that means the human capital, your labor workforce, is worth less. Right? Because people are not producing as much value. They just said Gen Zs are lazy. They don't want to work, don't want to show up.
Back to that Vivek tweet.
You know what I'm saying?
That Vivek tweet.
They don't even want to be men and women. They want to be Z and Z. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's different out here. So that means let's bring in AI, robots, right, to replace the productivity of humans and make it more efficient, because we don't have to pay them more. We can still make more. Then let's bring in immigrants, because we got a baby bust in America. We not making enough babies. Whites are going to be a minority. Okay, then that triggers a fear. Forget guilt. Now we fearful. Forget what we did to people. We going to be a minority. And what will the minorities do to us if they in power, if we treated them like this? So number one, stop teaching them history. So when they get in power, they don't look at us as an enemy, and what you did to us, we going to do to y'all. Right. There's all of this fear going on. So they have to continue to suppress the wages, produce more AI, robotics, The robots is gonna become so goddamn efficient, you don't need no humans. But this is the way that it always happened. You go from people as a labor force, horses, you go from trains and automation, then you got the digital age, and now it's saying forget humans. Let's just go completely with robots and keep all of the money, make everything so expensive that you don't own nothing and be happy. And then what happens when people don't believe in their ability to make money in the system and they think it's rigged? They gamble. Right?
They're fucking with meme coins and parlays.
Exactly. So our generation, previous, the boomers and early millennials, they had what? Lottery tickets and Powerballs. Now it's the parlay, you feel me? And it's the meme coin. So gambling is going to continue to go high because you don't believe in the system.
Yeah.
And then they putting tariffs on everybody, was going to make everything more expensive for everybody. So it's interesting that society can't see this. And this is why I tell people, like, I got my book here. Our goal is like, when you look at the Black Panther Party, they had the free food. To me, the free food is getting financial literacy right now. Learning the skill set nobody can take away from you that allows you to eat.
Yeah, because if you look at the financial system as a game, it's just with anything, man. If you just learn the rules to the game, I mean, it's and the information is there.
It's 100% there, and it's not hidden from you. And this is what I tell people: it's like Trump ain't gonna stop you from reading a book.
Right.
He ain't gonna stop you from learning the skill. He ain't gonna stop you from starting a business. You gonna be so fearful and so worried about what's happening in the world, you're not even building your own world. Right? Your world is whatever you pay attention to.
And then you get to the point where now you're, man, like, that's the thing, is like the blaming mindset. Well, Trump's the president. He, it's like you got to say, like it's at the end of the day, whether it was Biden, whether it was Kamala that won, whether it was Trump that won again, it's like, okay, how do you
save yourself?
Well, also, how do you say, okay, well, I know if this person's winning, how do I set myself up for success, regardless of who the president is? But okay, cool. I know if Trump won, this is what's going to happen. Maybe I should invest in these type of stocks. Maybe I should look into these type of,
See, that's knowing how to respond.
Right.
Right? That's knowing how to plan and think strategic ahead. So if you gonna be strategic, that means you got to be a general in your own life. Life is war. I mean, you got to take a step back and think about how the hell do I secure my future and my children. You feel me? If you can, I promise you, if you can get focused during this time, you gonna be one of the top 1%.
Yeah, and it's funny too, because even on the crypto front, like, even just getting, like, I think what happens with crypto, and it's probably better too, because in order to even get into the meme coin game,
that's a whole nother conversation.
No, but there's so much, like, it takes a few hours, but it's not easy to just sign up on an app, is what I'm trying to say. Like, you got to have like a Coinbase, you got to have a crypto.com wallet and then you got to have a DeFi wallet, and it's just not the easiest thing for, like, for example, the day that the Trump coin went crazy. If anybody opened their phone and was like, "Oh, how do I get this?" It wasn't just like you could just get. You kind of already had to be.
And that time,
and by that, it's
exactly. And by the time you buy, you liquidity for anybody to dump on you.
We woke up in the morning and I was like, damn, it's $24. I'm like, but then it went up to like 60. Yeah. And I was like, fuck.
But it's better to not get in at 24, right, than to not know when it's going to drop and then lose all your money.
Right, because that's when it happens. Obviously,
look at the meme coin, right? The meme coin thing is the attention economy on steroids. It's basically, instead of, you do a podcast, you got a funnel, right? Somebody, you gather attention, that attention is converted into a product. Somebody, you capture that audience information, then you retarget them and try to get them to buy something. So now you've made some money off that attention. Meme coins are based on narratives, right? So what's going on in pop culture or whatever that's happening, they will make a meme connected to that. So Donald Trump just said, let me meme myself since I'm about to goddamn become president. And then as all that attention is ciphering over here, attention then becomes currency. Everybody pour that energy into it. I get paid billions because how much is that attention worth, right? So when we look at it, though, the reality and the dark side of the meme coin is that a lot of these are inner circles, right, of people
where
getting
they know,
insider
hey, this
information.
is gonna happen. You're gonna
So it'll be somebody that say, all right, I'm gonna drop a coin. And behind the scenes, though, I hit you up, Kev. Right? It's like, look, I'm gonna drop a coin. I'm gonna need you to push this out. Now you got a Telegram group.
Right.
I already allocated some monies towards you. I'm gonna tell you when it's gonna drop, how it's gonna drop. Your wallet gonna get in.
For you. Yeah.
Yeah. You jump into your Telegram group. Somebody in your Telegram group, because you an OG in there, then they send it to their Telegram group. Then they send it to Twitter. Right now, all of these is layers of people who getting it early or later. Right, like by the time you see it on Instagram, it's late.
It's over.
So once you understand that the game is rigged, that they have paid an influencer on Twitter $5,000 or something to push it.
Let's say the Hawk Tua girl.
Hawk Tua coin. That one goes up. But the thing is you're not getting early, then you late. If you don't have some sort of insider track, you don't have a bot that is sniping it for you instantly, which is what they do to automate. And all these things that I'm saying, I'm sure the average person don't know, and is letting you should rewind this and say, okay, let me go to DeepSeek, let me go to OpenAI, and let me put this information in there, study it, and ask them to break it down to me. If you don't have the focus to do that right now, I promise you that shit you about to do the rest of your life, right? And the things you about to do tonight is not that important. It's not more important than you making $1 million, right? Or $100,000 as from your new skill set and new information, which is just you getting focused. Now, a lot of these 99% of them are rug pulls and scams. But here's the beauty of it, though, is that Bitcoin is going to be Bitcoin. You go buy it, and it's just an exchange of currency, right? And what you're doing is you're increasing your purchasing power, right? Because as Bitcoin goes up, your purchasing power goes up. So if inflation goes up, it doesn't matter, right? Because you're still able to buy the same amount or more of things based on the amount of money you have.
Right.
So if you work a job, whether you're getting $50,000 or whether you're getting $100,000, your goal, number one, is develop a skill set. Learn stocks, learn trading, learn something if you can, if you got that focus, or do it long term. If you don't, that just means you ain't got no discipline, which is fine. That means you know what you need to do.
That's what I say. I say 2025, man. It's got to be the word of the year. It's got to be discipline, man.
Yeah, it has to be discipline and focus, because without it, you can't do nothing. You got to have that will to power. And so for me, it's like study the game. Study what the wealthy people are doing and do what they go do during this time.